Waking up this morning in Elmer's Sunnybank in Hot Springs, North Carolina, and sitting in the living space as I get ready to head out to meet Trigger for breakfast at the diner. And even though it's not my dog, it's a dog. Meet Carter. Having a dog in the morning, even if it's not mine, makes the world all right.
Now it's working. Okay, we're in Hot Springs at Smoky Mountain Diner, which is the best breakfast on the trail. Chica and Sunsets gave me this hint, and here I am. And look who's here.
Stumbleina.
Stumbleina, who when I hiked the long trail in 2017 was hiking the AT. She lives in Charlotte, and she came out to join us for breakfast. Oh, it's so good.
You got a little trail magic.
A lot of trail magic. So life is good, guys. All right, so
Hello.
Trigger and I are headed off north to a hostel, and I can't remember what it's called.
Hollow something.
Hollow something, and Stumbleina's gonna drive our stuff up there so we can slack pack today. And coming off a few days where I was feeling homesick, this feels like I have family with me. This is just the best. I just can't even say what it does to warm your heart when you see somebody that you know on the trail. So thank you again for everything.
2 years ago.
I know, the trail is amazing. And she's gonna go finish her AT this year, hopefully. Hopefully, yeah.
And I'll hopefully see you again.
In Damascus.
Yep.
All right.
You got this.
Go team.
You got this.
So right next to the little Chamber of Commerce Visitor Center, where Hot Springs, North Carolina, hometown of the Appalachian Trail banner is flying, there is a little memorial to Earl Schaefer, who was the first person to have a documented through hike on the Appalachian Trail. All right, we're headed out of Hot Springs this morning. I think we're the only people to not zero here. We're gonna head up that hill on the other side of the French Broad River. We're walking out of Hot Springs along the French Broad River, and along these riverbanks there have been lots of through hikers that have set up camp and said they had their best night of sleep with all the white noise from the river. Sure is a pretty area. Coming up out of the river. And there's Hot Springs and the mountain we came down to get into it. We're about 4.5 miles into the day, and we came up to what looks like a dam, maybe for a little reservoir, so interested to see what's up these steps and what we're about to see. Oh, there's a little picnic bench, and sure enough, a reservoir with a field back there. How sweet is that? What a pretty spot. Be a pretty spot for lunch if we hadn't already had so much breakfast. Looks like we're gonna come out into that field, but look at all these naturalized daffodils. How pretty is that? It's the first time that I've seen something like that we weren't in town. Really super pretty. Just a few minutes after that last section we saw, we're still walking along this farmland. Really, really pretty. It's really nice to be in the trees, but boy, is it nice to come out of them sometimes and just have a breath of fresh air and have some wide open vistas. This is pretty special. I feel like this is a different look for me. All of a sudden, I am wearing a t-shirt for the first time today. I was able to take off my mid-layer. Coming out of Hot Springs, it was warm. And I guess it's been in the 60s, mid-60s today. And just a beautiful, beautiful day for hiking. But we couldn't have picked a better day for a slack pack. My legs were feeling tired after my first almost 20-mile day yesterday. And Trigger is doing his first almost 20-mile day today. So we're both feeling like, you know, taking some weight off of our packs is giving us a little boost as we do this big day. It still had a lot of ups and downs, and I don't know at what point we're not going to have days where we have 4,000 plus foot elevation gains and losses, but it's good. Our legs are definitely getting used to it. I am trying new shoes today. I had the pair that I bought at Outdoor 76, the Solomon pair, sent to me. I had said that I wanted to try them after the Smokies. I didn't want to mess with a new pair of shoes during the Smokies. And so far they feel pretty good. We'll have to see when I get in how my feet are feeling and how things look, but I feel like they're supportive. And so Rob at Outdoor 76, I'm hoping that this will work, and I'm back to your recommendation. So the other thing I was just thinking about was telling you some items that I have swapped out at this point in the trip. One thing that I just got in my most recent mail drop was my Sawyer Squeeze. The Sawyer Micro, the new one that came out this year that seemed so promising up front and from the beginning, just didn't have the flow rate. And when, somebody would fill up water and go to filter it, they'd always ask to not use my filter. So we would have to use somebody's squeeze because the rate was so much better. So the Micro was going home and my squeeze was just delivered to me. And so that's one thing. Another thing is my knife. I had my single blade knife with me and thought that that would be sufficient. As it turns out, I probably have not used the knife blade once, but I keep asking friends to use their scissors. So for cutting K-tape mostly, because I am a big fan of taping. My physical therapist, Meryl, used to be a rep for Rock Tape and an educator for them. So it's always been part of my physical therapy plan to use tape of some sort on my muscles and ligaments. So I have been dutifully using my K-tape as preventative and also to help alleviate some pain across the top of my feet that I'm having, that I think is just, soreness from working my feet hard every day. And so my single blade knife is going home, and I am getting one of my knives from home that has a pair of scissors on it. I'm not sure exactly which one that will be at this point. I just told my husband whichever one that's small that has the best pair of scissors on it, please send that along. So his father, Rob's father, Bob, was a big enthusiast of collecting Swiss Army knives and little utility knives. So we have a whole collection of them at our house, and each of our girls have one of his knives, and there's no shortage for us to choose from. They just happen to be part of what Bob used to collect. So that's kind of a fun thing to have along on the trail with me, is one of his knives. Another thing that I sent home were my Jaybird strapless headphones. I could not get them to keep a charge. Every time I would go to put them in and turn them on, I had to recharge them again. And that was just becoming a nuisance, and I don't know if I was doing something wrong or if they're just gotten to a certain stage where they weren't playing nicely anymore. So I sent those home and had my, actually, the person that gave me these headphones, these Apple headphones, was Jimmy Carter, all the way back in Georgia. He gave me his because he has hearing aids and did not need the headphones that came with his phone, his iPhone. So Jimmy Carter, still wearing your headphones after all these miles. And if you could see here, I'm pointing right up by the top of my water bottle, there's like this little furry thing hanging down. I don't think I explained that to you. That is what is referred to as a dead cat. Did I already talk about this? I don't know if I already talked about this. If I didn't, I'm just going to talk about it again. It is designed to help muffle wind noise as I'm talking to you. So that's why I have been using headphone to talk to you recently instead of just the phone to try to help muffle any wind noise and distortion on your end. I like to refer to mine as a dead mouse because it's so small. It's not the size of a cat. It's a bit smaller than that. So my dead mouse is hanging off of my headphones. So that's like a new little thing. I just got a piece of fur at a fabric store and sewed that on there.